So you may or may not remember, just about a week ago on this channel, we had a conversation about Nintendo submitting a new mystery device to the FCC. Of course, due to the timing of when Nintendo's submitting this device and actually the reveal of when this device can be shown off, or redacted parts of the documents that might reveal what they are to the FCC, that reveal is lifting on March 20th in 2025, which is not only lining up with maybe some of the speculation on when we might see Nintendo launch the Switch 2, but it's also a Thursday, and that's when Nintendo is releasing their games right now. So interesting timing on all of that stuff. But the other reason people are believing this could be some kind of Switch 2 accessory, a first of its kind, is because we had those leaked prototype images that are claimed to be from roughly October 2023. So maybe that USB-C port that we saw on the top of that device is in the finalized product. Maybe it's not, but if it is there in the finalized product, it could just be for something as simple as charging your Nintendo Switch 2 while in docked mode, or Nintendo may have some of their Nintendo-like ideas up their sleeves with this console, and they might actually have a number of different accessories that can attach to it, which I'm hoping means the name that we saw floating around in that YouTube survey that said Nintendo Switch Attach. I'm sure hoping that's not what this console is called, but there was some speculation that maybe this FCC mystery device that's a brand new product line is somehow related to that. Well, then we had this Chinese YouTuber actually have a 3D printed model based off the dimensions and the sizing of those CAD files that were built from the prototype, so all accurate information there as far as how big this console looks. And she seemed to suggest in her video, kind of like a matter of fact, like a statement, that Nintendo will be releasing some kind of attachable camera accessory for this device that would actually plug into that top USB-C port. And she acted like maybe enhanced motion controls and something like that would be compatible due to an add-on accessory like that. So due to the timing of that claim and then this brand new mystery product filed with the FCC, it seemed like maybe that would be potentially what Nintendo's working on here. However, we now have some more clues to go off of, and boy does this sound like a strange device. We actually know roughly the dimensions of it. We already knew kind of the radio antennas and frequencies that it would support, which we will highlight again in this video, but there is somebody online sharing new information about this that, from my understanding, used to work on these exact projects and review and approve these exact type of filings from the FCC, and he's going out online actually even making a 3D model to kind of show the scale of this thing. So we have some new ideas to investigate today and some new theories about what this device could be, if it's related to Switch 2 at all. Maybe it's its own thing. Keep all of that stuff in mind, but we're going to get on the same page with everything here. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And we have to first hop over to our gaming leaks and rumors, where Remote Play Gaming, which is the YouTube channel that I was discussing, I will have his channel linked in the description down below. He's done some very good investigative work with this particular project, and you can kind of see everything outlined in text here in terms of what we know. We will then look at some screenshots about the size of this particular product, because it doesn't look like something that could just easily be plugged into the top of that topside USB-C port like some were initially speculating. So you can first see additional FCC docs give us rough size, shape, and purpose for Nintendo CLO-001 wireless device. Hey all, we made a video, but for readability's sake, here are the key things found from the 24 gigahertz millimeter wave sensor documents of the Nintendo's FCC filing. Previously, the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi docs were reviewed. It indicates earlier testing date than the 2.5 gigahertz Wi-Fi part, shows the distance of the 24 gigahertz antenna from each side of the device. This gives us the size, shape, and dimensions. The dimensions should be approximately 90.6 millimeters by 90.6 millimeters by 83.7 millimeters, and that is width by height by depth, give or take a little bit for plastic, etc. This was calculated with antenna placement measurements. For example, the 24 gigahertz antenna is 10.5 millimeters from the top edge and 80.05 millimeters from the bottom edge, giving us a total height of 90.6 millimeters. In the video, a 3D model is shown to see the scale of the device. Nintendo submitted this as a wireless device, while the original Switch was submitted as a game console. The device is listed as a UMPC portable device, ultra mobile PC or tablet-esque. UMPC devices, according to the FCC, have some type of screen. It is reasonable to expect a screen or glass on the front of the device. According to the FCC, this is a portable portable device, and thus it can be inferred that there is a battery, as it cannot run portably without power, likely a rechargeable and non-removable battery. UMPC devices / tablets are meant to be held or carried around, not set on a table or dock and left in one position permanently. SAR testing was done for the 24 GHz piece as well, specifically absorption rate of the RF signals into the body. Keep in mind, while we show a cube, there could still be attachments, or the device may have curved edges or bevels, etc. So some of the ideas, and this is just speculation, that the individual came up with who uncovered this were a controller that has a mini screen on the front which displays information from the game on your console and TV, perhaps instructions for a WarioWare style game where you need to shake the controller or pass it around, etc. Given the size of the device, I think it's going to be very difficult to wear this for any length of time, so strapping it on for long periods of time is probably out. These could be devices like the HTC Vive base stations where you plug in / charge and then set up for an AR style play space with the Switch 2. It could be as simple as it's a fancy health / sleep / alarm clock device with a little screen on it. Nintendo gonna Nintendo. So to then take a look at the rough estimates of the size, a mock-up of this, which keep in mind this could be slightly different as mentioned in the post, but we have a cube-like device. So a millimeter wave sensing GameCube is coming to us with the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. No, that's clearly not what this is, but it does seem to kind of fit that idea of maybe the alarm clock, some kind of health sleep integration with like a Pokemon sleep app, but Nintendo does Nintendo Sleep, and Mario's there jumping around and making sure that you're getting your quality 8 hours of rest per night and showing you how many times you wake up throughout the night. This is a real thing that Nintendo almost brought to market in the past, and it is possible that it is something just as simple as that, and it's not super exciting or even related to the Nintendo Switch 2 necessarily, other than it may be able to wirelessly communicate with the device, and maybe you can look at your sleep tracking stats and things like that on the console. Yes, it could be something as boring and as simple as that. However, I obviously get slightly excited whenever I see the idea of a controller with a screen on it passed off by this individual, and I definitely don't see that being the possibility of what it is whenever you look at the size of it. But if this is actually a larger device than what the dimensions suggest, and it's kind of has curved edges and things like this user said, you can maybe see a world where you could be holding something like that as a larger secondary display, and then that solves our issue for 3DS and DS emulation on Nintendo Switch Online, which Nintendo's going to have to solve for in some way, shape, or form. But I would still argue, like, what is the need for the 24 GHz millimeter wave sensor in just a touchscreen controller like that? And I think this is something that's going to be tied into sensing motion in a big way, in some way, shape, or form. So whether that means more enhanced motion controls with Switch 2, and it is actually an optional accessory that you can have to have better body tracking and things in addition to it registering your Joy-Cons and where they're going, like, that is a possibility. Nintendo's seen really good success with exercise type games like fitness boxing and stuff. It is definitely possible that they have some kind of health and fitness initiative where this does talk to and track your movement during a workout in a game, and you're able to keep track of that all with your console. Then maybe you are able to put it next to your bed at night and it also tracks your sleeping stuff, like something that can be moved around easily and likely has a battery, so it's designed to be moved from room to room. Seems to be what these filings are suggesting here, but it is really one of those situations that unfortunately we may not know what Nintendo's really working on here until that March 20th date. Maybe they reveal it before then, but either way, there are redacted portions of the FCC document that can actually be shared as of March 20th next year, which is interesting timing. So whether or not this mystery device launches alongside of the Switch 2, and that is actually the date for Switch 2 release, that would obviously be very exciting, or if this is just its own standalone product that Nintendo's working on and will reveal to us at some point during the marketing campaign for their next gen console, that all remains to be seen. But that's where I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What do you make of this new wireless device from Nintendo and their filings with the FCC now that we have some additional details on the shape, size, and a few different thrown around ideas on what this might be? It's pretty clear that it's not something that's going to plug into the top of the console, so I think that camera thing with enhanced motion sensing is kind of out the window for this particular one. But do you think it's likely some kind of controller with a screen on it, and that is an accurate statement? Do you think it's more than likely a sleep alarm clock or some kind of fitness device that will tie in with different games that Nintendo is going to be releasing on their next gen console, and that's really what this is? Or do you think maybe all the ideas out there online are way off track and this is something completely different than that? Is Nintendo going the way of a Microsoft Kinect type device where you can just essentially do body tracking with a lot of different games that will be on their next gen hardware, and you can purchase this as an optional add-on for it. Or what do you make of it? Because this is obviously all clearly a mystery at this point in time. So make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.